Well, it's a bit of a wet day. It's been a bit of a wet time of year, really. Luckily, it was okay for us when we went down to see my sister a couple of weeks ago. I tried to shoot Kings Lynn, as I explained in my last video. It didn't really work for me. I spoke to another couple of people actually that have tried to shoot Kings Lynn and said it didn't work for them. One of them lived there, so he didn't particularly like it because it was his town and hometown. And I sort of get that, except I shoot Liverpool, but I did a little project a while back on shooting locally, and it sort of worked for me, but it's a bit weird when you're bumping into people you know all the time. And one of the worst things about shooting locally is you don't get many photographs taken because you're too busy talking to people you know. So that's the downside of shooting locally. On the other hand, they reckon some of the best work of any photographers has been them shooting their own area. And I don't mind standing talking to people that I know. The trouble is, it just detracts from your photography sometimes. It can work both ways, I totally admit that. And some of the great works have been done in some areas of London by some great photographers. I'm sure by the Shoreditch book and the other books that have been done and everything else, I'm sure people like Christian Cross engage with everyone and talk to everyone. In fact, I know he does. It's just not the type of photography I do and the way I work. So I don't want to walk around to the local fishmongers and say hello to Brian and have a conversation with him and then take his photograph. It just doesn't work for me. I'd much rather catch him when he doesn't know, and then that feels weird because I know it. Anyway, this is about editing your own work down. It's not about editing. It's about editing your work down. And anytime you go out on a shoot, the only way you can progress, and I know there's a lot of people that watch my videos that don't want to progress and they're happy as they are, and I'm happy for everyone like that. Whatever type of photography you do, I'm happy that you do it that way because it's something that you can do for many, many, many different reasons. Some is to progress and some is just to have a hobby. And some is just because it's nice to be behind a camera or hide behind a camera when you go out. I fully get that and fully understand that. But I try and make these videos for everyone. And I know that some of the videos that I've made so far may not work for everyone, but I try and do a little bit for everyone. And I may not hit the point. And if I don't, well, make a note below these. Let me know what you want and I'll try and make something for you. It's no good being in the background and not saying anything, and then I'm never going to make anything for you because you haven't told me about it. But I know some people do like to moan about things like that. So they never tell you what they want and then they moan when they don't get it. That's life. So I went and shot last week. As I said, I didn't go to Kings Lynn. I went to a town local to my sister, Narborough, and I got a selection of images, and I probably shot 5 to 6 more than the images you're going to see here. But in general, I didn't shoot many more. But what happened is, as soon as I import them, if I don't like them, I delete them straight away. So that's my first part, and that should be your part. One thing I will say, and I've said it millions of times, is do not delete off your memory card. Put them all onto your device, whatever that is, and then delete off your device and then format your memory card. The reason I say that is because deleting data from your memory card by single images can create empty pockets of data and can damage your memory cards, which will cause you problems later on down the line. Now then, what I do is these days, it used to be all done in Lightroom and Photoshop and everything else. These days, I import from my Fujifilm camera to my iPad with a memory card. I don't do it through whatever it is, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, everything like that. It's just a lot quicker for me to take my memory card out, put it in a card reader in my iPad and import them in. Then I will decide which ones I want and which ones I want to keep. I will immediately delete off anything I don't want. And then for the purpose of last week, I kept loads of images to put into last week's video. Please go and watch that to see how I work and what I photograph. They're not necessarily keepers. And that's because I wanted to come on to this week's video. And I kept three photographs in black and white on my Instagram account. And you can go over to my Instagram account and look at that. Would I have kept them all personally in the long run? I don't really know. The honest truth is I don't really know. I probably kept them to make the video. One of them has grown on me, and that's the tractor version with the kids, one in the window, one in the tractor. The 2 people standing outside the shop, I think I've probably kept that because of the way I shot it, to show how I shot it, and then I've used it again. And then the textures with the woman's dress on the wall, I just quite like that. It's something new to me. And so I've basically kept it and put it on Instagram for one reason only, and that's to remind me that working with textures is probably a new thing for me. I've done more reflections and more projects and this, that and the other, and so working with textures could possibly be a future project. I don't know yet. There is a possibility. So the first thing I do is import them all in, and then I would do a very quick edit on them. And then in this case, because I was going to use them in my video, I did a very quick color edit. And I basically go backwards and forwards on my iPad, deciding what I want and what I don't want. And the way I do that is then I try and find three. And for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of last week's video, I choose three images that as my best images from that day. Now, they may not be my best images of all time, and these three certainly aren't, but they're the best three images from that day. Now, I can't teach you how to do that. All I can say is you've got to keep looking at your images one at a time and decide, is that one better than that one? Is that one better than that one? Is that one better than that one? Once you've decided, what you should really do is, in the old days, as I would call it, is I would print out the images that I liked from film and say, let's just call that 20 images in 10 by 8, and then I'd lay them all out on a table and I would start deciding, I like that one, I don't like that one. So it would be, I like that pile, I don't like that pile. So it would be, I like that one, don't like that one, and then in the end, once I've put the don't like pile, I put the don't like pile over there. I will just check through the don't like pile once more, make sure there isn't any I like, and I'm left with a like pile. Now what I've got to do is decide which ones do I like the best, because I'm only going to end up with three. So I now start going, like that one, don't like that one, like that one, don't like that one, and create another don't like pile. And I keep doing that until I end up with three images. They're my best three images. Digitally, you can do the same in Lightroom, Photoshop, on your iPad, anything. Just go through your images and decide, oh, I like that one, I don't like that one, I like that one, I don't like that one. And at the end of the day, it's down to you. I can't choose those for you, and nor can anybody else. And none of your decisions should be based on what other people think, because you're the photographer, it's your art, it's for you to decide. Don't be going online saying who likes this one and who likes this one, and do you like this one in black and white and this one in colour. I'm mainly a black and white shooter, so most of the stuff I put out is black and white. And I don't like my Instagram feed full of two different things. My old Instagram feed used to just be black and white. My new ones has a few colours in it, but sometimes they're hidden behind a black and white. So you'd have to go and find them. Now then, this isn't an in-depth video, I am going to tell you that. I don't want to sit down with a camera over my head showing you what I do on my iPad. That's for a later date, because I want you to think about it. So what I want you to do is I want you to go and do a shoot. Now, I was going to do this video at the end of the year, and I'm not going to for the end of my project. And I still will do that. And that's when I'll probably use my iPad to show you, because I'm going to show you the whole process from beginning to end. But at the end of the day, what you need to do now is go out and shoot. This weekend, next weekend, sometime, during the week, if you're off, if you're retired, definitely during the week, go out and shoot some images. I don't care how many, as many as you feel comfortable with, 20 to 50. I wouldn't go any more, because you're going to have to sit down afterwards. And then edit those images down to your best three. In theory, then, the rest are a waste of time, because the next best image is out of your front door. It's not sitting there. Now, I know some people will turn around and tell me, but you might have missed one, this, that, and the other. Trust me, I don't miss one, because I've been doing this so long now. I'm never going to go back to a dead pile of images and think there's got to be a good one in there. Now, some people do that in the winter. They go back to all their old images, look through all their image files, and think, oh, I missed one there. But you didn't really miss one. What you've thought is, that's better than the other ones. But you should have done that in the beginning. So the whole point of editing your work down from 50 images down to 3 is to learn what's good and what's bad. In the old days, you'd probably print them all out and think that horizon's wonky and this, that and the other and everything on slide film, even though you can correct that, but you'd probably get rid of that immediately. But nowadays, is that subject better than that subject? Is that background better than that background? Is that better than this? Is this better than that? And I ended up with my top three, which are my top 3 black and white ones from there. The rest of them I kept in colour on this video and on the last video, so you can have a look at them. But I did not use them on Instagram because I don't particularly like any of them. So this is your experiment. Go out, photograph a selection of images. The more you photograph, the harder it is going to be to edit down, but also the more it will teach you a lesson. Because if you go out and shoot 140, 150, 300 images, you've now got to get them down to 3. So good luck with that. It's good practice as well for if you're making a book, which I'm going to come on to next year. I don't want to do that this year. Because when you're making a book, it's a bit more important then. It's not about what's your top 3. It's about the top 20 to 40 to 50 that you're going to put in a book that you've shot all year. And then what works on the left-hand page to the right-hand page? And does that person facing that person work? And does that person facing that person work? Does that shot front fit with that dog weeing up a lamppost? You've got to make all these decisions, and it's all about creativity in your artwork. People can't do that for you. I did have a friend once that we were both making a project book, and I don't know what happened, but he said, "Oh, I've got my book, a cheap offer, and I'm going to get it done by tonight." And I said, "What?" And he said, yes. I said, don't do it. Anyway, he messaged me in the morning and said, "I've put the book together and I've sent it off." And I said, "Well, that's madness." I said, "You rushed that and you sent that off just to have it cheap." I said, "It's going to come back and look as worse than you've ever thought." Anyway, his book come back in several weeks from Photobox, I think it was. And he said, "It's bloody awful." And I thought, well, it's obvious it's awful. It took me 2.5 months to 3 months. So I think it was one of my projects I finished in 1st of January. And I think it was March, I think, by the time I actually laid my book out. It's 100 images, I think, as I remember. I can't remember 100%. It's in my blog. I'll try and link to it below. But at the end of the day, the whole idea is you need to lay that book out and you really, really, really need to dig deep and think about it. You cannot just throw a book together in 35 seconds just because it's cheap. Your work's more important than that. You're more important than that. Just think about that. You've taken a whole year to shoot a project and now you've thrown a book together in an afternoon. I think your work deserves more than that and more effort than that. If you've taken a year to do it, you should at least give it a couple of months to sort it out. Maybe you work quicker than that. I don't know. My friend definitely didn't. His book looked shit. I told him it looked shit and that's all there is to it. Harsh shit, isn't it? But at the end of the day, if something looks shit, it looks shit. Let's just not flower it up. So the whole idea of my thing last weekend was to go away for a break with my girlfriend, enjoy some time with my sister and do a few shoots. I did a few different shoots in a few different areas, some worked and some didn't. And I've put all the work on Instagram so you can see, and some of the work's in last week's video. So please go back and look at that one. But anyway, that's your task. Go out, shoot. Go out, shoot, and obviously you can tag me if you're on Instagram into what you've shot and let me see your work. Now, I've done this over and over again, and I've done a Learning to See workshop, and a lot of people just aren't interested in this side of photography. I don't know why. Don't ask me, I haven't got a clue. But this is how you improve your work, because once you learn to choose 3 great images out of your day's shoot, they're the best images. Honestly, they are. In fact, one of them, if you choose 1 best images out of the 3, that's your best image of the day. That should be the one you show. I know people that go out and shoot a day street photography and put every image they've shot on Instagram. It looks bloody appalling. I'm going to tell you that now. It looks appalling. I've tried to help people and explain to them, you can't just go out and put everything you shot on Instagram. It doesn't work. Everything you shot on Flickr, it doesn't work. Choose your best work. If you're a landscape photographer and you've shot 50 images that day, putting 50 images on average images on work is as good as putting your best image online. So this video is about choosing your best from your work on your own, the way any professional photographer would do it. A professional photographer, when they output their work to someone, chooses their best images. I know some wedding photographers, I'm not going to name names, shoot thousands. I know someone that shoots 10,000 plus images of a wedding. And he said because he doesn't want to miss something of that day. I think it's far too much, to be honest with you. I think it's crazy. But if he wants to edit that down and he does have a team with him, that's up to him. He did tell me once he shot 20,000 at one wedding, or 25,000. Imagine going through that amount of images. It blows my mind. I used to shoot weddings on film and shoot nowhere near that much. It's several rolls of 36 exposure film. Never do it again. But at the end of the day, you're choosing your best work for your viewer to see. So you need to be critical. And this time around, the first time you do it, you're not going to be that critical because you're going to love it all, but it's not all your best work. So choose your best 3, then choose your best 1, and then keep that one and think about that one and look at all your, then go back through all your other piles and think, is that really my best one? The first time you do it, go back through it all. Is that really my best one? And if you're not 100% sure, then pull a few others out of your other pile and get it back down to 3 again, and keep doing it until you get it down to your best one and your best 3. It works. It's really, really helpful if you want to improve photography going forward. Do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. As I say, I know people are into gear and they just want to talk about gear all the time and buy the latest camera, etc. Fine, that's up to them. There's lots of people like lots of different things, from cars to bikes to this, that and the other. And everyone has different hobbies and different things. And my YouTube channel is about helping all of you to decide on different things. I don't want to hit in and talk about Fujifilm gear all the time in the beginning, because then I know it's the easiest way to grow my channel. I will talk about Fujifilm gear and stuff like that later on. And as new products come out, I might talk about those as well. I don't know yet. I haven't made my mind up. I just didn't want my channel to suddenly become a gear channel. I wanted it to be about photographers and helping photographers at all skill levels. But even for professional photographers used to come on my street photography workshops in the down season to learn the way I shot street, so that they could go back to weddings and put some of that into their wedding photography. I know a couple that shoot weddings in street photography, in street style. I've copied some of the greats and masters and brought that into their photography. Doesn't matter who you are and what you are, you've all got something to learn. I know several professional photographers, and I'm not going to mention them all by name, that still do workshops. I mean, go on them. They're friends' workshops. I've had people come on my workshops because it's all a learning curve. And even these videos I make and put out now, I know professional photographers that watch them because they tell me they do. And they say, I never thought of that, or I never done it that way. So anyway, go out, get those shot, get them on your iPad or your Lightroom, get looking through them, decide on your best 3, decide on your best one, put it on your Instagram, tag me in it and I can have a look. If you've got any ideas, let me know below. I'll leave you with the images and the 3 I chose, just like on the last video, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great weekend.